Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you one and all to the final episode of the game. The save screen said that this was the end, not end part 1, just the end, which means no matter how long this takes, we are finishing this game here, right now, today, in this episode. It has been one hell of a journey. All month long, we've investigated all over the place, from Gourd Lake, to the prison, to the art gallery, to the top of the Grand Tower, all the way down to the bottom of the Grand Tower. And now, after this month-long adventure, we've finally arrived at the very big circus, and we are ready to scream objection out loud until our lungs give out to finally bring this case to a close. Because we've already solved it. We've already connected all the logic together. We've already solved all the mysteries, and we know who the man pulling the strings is. We've got one last truth we want to find, one last mystery to solve, and one man who masterminds this game to corner. So, buckle your seatbelts and strap in, everyone. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the car at all times, and prepare yourself for the grand finale of Ace Attorney Investigations 2.
Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. Are you guys here for the show?
Mr. Keys, Miss Berry.
You're a little early. I'm sorry, but we're still getting ready to float. We all float down here, Georgie. But I'm so happy you came. You remembered our promise.
Yes, I remembered. You asked us to come and see the show when you gave me this.
I'm so happy you came. Please enjoy yourselves. I'm sure my performance will surprise you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Your performance has already surprised me, Mr. Keys.
But he hasn't performed yet.
Oh, yes, he has. Regina, please have a look at, this photo. Is this balloon the property of the very big circus?
Ah, it is. Did you see it flying around somewhere?
It's highly likely that this balloon was used by the culprit in the case we are investigating.
Huh?
Who is in charge of the balloon?
Well, that would be Simon, but are you saying...
Yes, I am. Mr. Keys, you flew this balloon in the middle of the night. Did you not?
I do occasionally practice alone at night. I'm not much of a pilot, though. I'm a little clumsy. Oh!
So for practice, you'll do something as challenging as flying a balloon at night. Wouldn't that be rather difficult for someone who is clumsy and not much of a pilot?
Then, what do you think I was doing, Mr. Edgeworth?
You brought Kay to the roof of the Grand Tower in order to frame her for the murder of Jill Crane. Not a single security camera recorded Kay using the elevator. Therefore, the only way she could have gotten up there was through flight. And the only one who could have flown her up there was you, Mr. Keys!
No way! Mr. Edgeworth, how can you say that?
That's not all. You drugged John at the garbage pickup and kidnapped him. Wasn't that why you were late when you came to watch the trial of Patricia Rowland?
No way! I have no idea what you're saying. There's no way I could do things like that. Please believe me. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I wanted to believe you. However, you have broken the trust yourself.
That's horrible. Why would you say that? Didn't you once say that you would trust me? That you would believe in me? Don't you worry about that. We're your allies. That's because we're like birds of a feather. Right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Birds of a feather, huh? I suppose that's true. We have sufficient information about your past. I doubt you had a motive to kill Knightley. Oh, that aged like milk. Rather, you were probably the most affected person by his death. Oh, that doubly aged like milk. And I doubt someone as timid as you could work up the courage to murder someone. Oh, that's 3 strikes and you're out, buddy. Alright, I'll get you out of here. We'll believe in you.
I'm so sad. Those words were all lies. It wasn't a lie. We really did trust you. Kay, even you said we were like birds of a feather. And yet, I'm hurt, Kay. You've hurt me deeply. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe Simon isn't a bad guy after all.
Come on, Kay. Don't be subdued by his wizardly ways. I see. So that's how you operate. I understand now, all too well. No matter who you face, you find an emotional weakness and exploit it. You guide each person towards the outcome you desire, without them even noticing it. That is how you were able to mastermind this entire case. I may have fallen for your tricks before, but not this time. Simon Keys, I indict you! Even though I am not a prosecutor.
So, it's come to this after all. Time to float, Georgie. You are always so full of confidence, Mr. Edgeworth. But I rather like that, because now I can rip that confidence to shreds.
Mr. I can't tame animals, huh? Did that monkey just salute you? Well, well, well. Look who finally decided to show up.
Ha! Good work, everyone.
Oh, his personality has completely changed. So, the animal tamer who could not tame an animal, that was all a facade. This is the real Simon Keys.
Simon, that's not true, is it? Truth or lie, what difference does it make? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth just made me a little upset, that's all. Oh! You'll take responsibility for upsetting me, right?
Here we go. Finally, a showdown against the man who masterminds this game.
It's true. I practiced with the balloon 2 nights ago.
Alright, you want to tell me about that?
That photo must have been taken when the balloon and I passed near the building. I often fly around that area for advertising purposes. There's nothing unusual about that, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know how much advertising you're gonna do when the balloon is just a giant lion. Like, there's no logo for the circus or anything on it. You often fly around the Grand Tower in the balloon.
Yeah, even the circus needs to advertise.
Regina, is that true?
Yep, it was Simon's job to advertise using the balloon. Most people who live around here should have seen it.
That balloon was used in the crime we are investigating.
Like I said, it's just a coincidence. I simply happened to pass by the Grand Tower when that photo was taken.
I shall determine whether or not it was a coincidence after I hear your full story. Alright, well, if you want the full story, we're gonna need to press some more details when it comes to, you practicing with the balloons 2 nights ago. Was the balloon launched from this tent?
There's a nice big park near the Sunshine Coliseum. I always launch the balloon there.
I see. In that case, how do you transport the balloon to the park?
Well, it's too heavy to carry by hand. It weighs several hundred pounds, and yet it can fly in the sky. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, Kroll, you have not... Amazingly, you have still not... Excuse me. You have still not answered my question. I asked you how you transported it. Now, answer the question.
Aw, I can't even make some small talk. You're mean, Mr. Edgeworth. I used a truck.
Oh, a truck, did you? Well, see, the thing is, pal, we happened to find a truck outside the Grand Tower with a basket in the back. That wouldn't happen to be your truck, would it? A truck?
Yeah, the last time I took the truck and the balloon out was 2 days ago.
Well, that's a bold-faced lie. Because, I kind of overlooked that piece of testimony. Because we found the truck outside the tower today, so... Yeah, no, solid 3 out of 10 attempt there, Simon Keys. The truck you put the balloon into, was it blue by any chance?
Blue? So what if it is?
Today, we saw a blue truck carrying a large basket. If that truck just so happens to be yours, then your claim that you last used it days ago becomes a lie. Oh, just... Hey, Emma! Wow, okay, wow, my range of emotions just now. I went from, oh my god, Agent Links back to, hey look, it's Emma Sky! I did not expect to see you again in this game. I mean, I'm happy to see you again, because it's freaking Emma Sky. Why would I not be happy to see her here again? But, like, I did not think that she would get more than one cameo in this game. That's awesome! Mr. Edgeworth, I finally found you. I've been searching for you ever since the incident yesterday. I dashed right over after Kay contacted me just a little while ago. Prosecutor Edgeworth, the thing you were looking for. I found it. It was placed in a blue truck at the dressing room parking lot. Well, this is our 5th page of evidence. 5 pages of evidence. A blue truck, as I suspected. That truck is, without a doubt, the one I saw today.
There are a number of blue trucks out there, you know. Who's to say you're not mistaking it for a different one? It's definitely that one. I gotta go look at it. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, was that...
It wasn't me. Oh, we're doing the Phantom thing where he can imitate people. Okay. Kay, words have no strength without evidence to back them up.
Ah, that's Mr. Edgeworth's voice.
Evidence? Present evidence. Do I have any evidence to prove that this was the truck I saw today? I mean, Emma Sky's here now. So, technically what we could do is we could do a stolen turnabout, and because Edgeworth, I remember this because I made a big deal about it because he touched a cold truck that was out in the sun all day. Edgeworth touched the truck, so maybe we can get Emma Sky to check for our fingerprints and see if they're on there? Maybe? Yep, I think that's what we're doing here, because this is the scene where, yep, he's touching the truck, okay. So, Emma! Hey! So wait, are we actually gonna get to use Emma Sky's ability in this game? Who'd have thought it? Using scientific investigation in an Emma Sky cameo? Who would have thought it? Not me, because we certainly didn't do that in the last game. I'd like to dust the truck for fingerprints.
Fingerprints? What for? I don't see any point in that.
A certain person's fingerprints should be left on this truck, and these fingerprints will prove the truck was parked in front of the Grand Tower today. Whose fingerprints prove this truck was in front of the tower? That would be Miles's fingerprints.
Edgeworth, your fingerprints?
Indeed. Earlier today, I touched a truck at the plaza in front of the Grand Tower. I'd like to dust for my prints. Emma, might I request a scientific investigation?
That's what I'm here for. Just leave it to me. Yeah. Alright, we're all set. Go ahead, Mr. Edgeworth.
Wait, you want me to do it?
Of course. Who else but Mr. Edgeworth would be up to the task? Here, I'll show you how it's done.
Alright then. You're the scientist. Why don't you just do it yourself? Because she's not the player character, Edgeworth. Duh.
First, we sprinkle some aluminum powder over the area you want to investigate. Like this.
Touch the screen. Okay, so we gotta use the touch screen again. Just sprinkle the aluminum powder.
The powder will adhere to the fingerprints, so once you've sprinkled enough, you blow it away.
Blow it away?
Yeah, just blow on it with your breath. Whoosh.
Blow the powder away by blowing into the microphone. Blowing into the microphone? Wait, I actually have to blow into the microphone? That's awesome! That's so much better! Because you're actually blowing the dust away. That's awesome! That's like what they did in Capcom Treasure Tracker. Because on the Wii version of Capcom Treasure Tracker, there were these platforms that would move back and forth based on when you blew into the microphone. Like they'd be moved all the way to the right, and then you'd blow into the microphone, and that would blow the platforms to the left. Which is awesome. Unfortunately, in the Switch version, they didn't have that because obviously the Switch doesn't have the microphone and the controller, so they had to just set the platforms to move at a certain timer, but whatever. Either way. So we actually have to do this by blowing into the microphone. That's awesome. Yes, I think so. I guess we'll do it for real this time.
Just so you know, the key point is to sprinkle the powder all over.
Okay. Well, this shouldn't be too hard. I just gotta use the touchscreen to, so I'm just gonna split this part up, so you guys don't have to watch me do this, because, you know, it's just gonna be me tapping the screen, playing all over the place, so I'm just gonna speed this part up so you guys don't have to watch me do it. You think this will be enough? I think this will be enough. Okay, so I blow into the microphone now. Okay, I've never done this before. Let's give it a shot. Okay, I think I did something. I saw. Okay, so I was expecting it to all be blown away in one breath, but I guess. Okay, so I'll do it again. That didn't do anything. Okay, that did something. Okay, so I gotta do it. Like, let's try one big breath. Still no. Okay, fine. One more time. Still no. Okay, fine. One last big breath, and I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. There we go. Okay. I hope that doesn't sound too bad in the editing, or in the video. I might have to lower my microphone audio down in editing because I blew directly into the microphone. So I hope that doesn't, because my mic's right in front of me. So I hope that doesn't, I hope that's not as bad as it sounded when I was doing it. Anyway, we got one. That's a nice clean fingerprint. Let's run the prints again. It's mine, post haste.
Alright, just leave it to me.
That's a sound effect for a match found.
These are definitely your fingerprints, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, it seems to me that we have just proven your statement to be a lie. Ah! What were you doing when you were driving this truck around?
Just taking it for a joyride?
Kay was abducted 2 nights ago. Your balloon was sighted not far from the scene. Today, there was another kidnapping in which a garbage truck was used. And once again, your truck was seen nearby.
This all sounds like nothing more than a pure coincidence to me.
Was it also a coincidence that that both kidnappings used the same sleeping drug? I doubt that. You were involved in both kidnappings, weren't you?
Isn't it a bit rash to automatically assume that the two kidnappings were connected?
What, they both used the same sleeping drug, so no, it's not. What if I had evidence to prove that the two crimes were performed by the same culprit?
Oh, you're serious? I can't wait to hear this.
What did Kay and John's kidnappings have in common? They used the same sleeping drugs.
Take that!
Kay was knocked out with a powerful sleeping drug, and a bottle of sleeping drugs was found lying in the place where John was confined. The contents of the bottle were a match with the drugs used on Kay.
Objection!
So that's all you got, huh? And here I was getting my hopes up. So the same sleeping drugs were used. So what? You think that connects the two incidents? Surely you must realize it yourself. That doesn't prove a thing.
Oh, there must be something. Evidence that proves he's connected to those cases. Well, okay, well, if you just want to prove that he's connected to the case, that's easy. Because we have the correspondence chess memo, which he was the only one who could have done it because he was the one who interacted with both Dojin and Knightley. So who could have translated from Braille in both directions. So, if you just want to tie him to the game as a whole, that's your proof right there.
The police, prosecutors, and even you, Mr. Edgeworth, in the end, you're all the same. You make up evidence as you see fit, just so you can send some poor soul to prison. Isn't there someone like that here? A poor soul who was wrongly accused in the past?
You're wrong! Wait, who would do such a thing?
Objection!
Then show me the evidence. If you're going to accuse me of a crime, it's only natural. Because we all float down here.
It's no use. I can't seem to find any other threads linking him to the kidnappings. Okay, well, we can at least link him to the case.
Now then, have you finally run out of ammo, Mr. Edgeworth? I still have preparations to make at the circus, so if you'll excuse me.
Objection!
Joking motive. I was hoping we were gonna get to hear this at least one more time before the end of the game. We don't deserve this music. It's too good. Now, you two. No need to get so heated. And Simon, you're looking good in that clown makeup.
Hey, what's your deal? Don't just butt in like that.
But it's Ray. It's fine. He has the music. Like, what else do you need? He has the music. That's all you need. It's just when you have this godly music, you're allowed to butt into any conversation you want. When you have this ungodly music. Just listen to it. Oh, it's so good. Like, we actually just don't deserve this music. It's too good for this world. Oh my god. It's so good. Oh my god. Gray's not so good in such a stiff environment. I mean, why so serious, right? Hey, Kay, how about a little trick?
At last, my moment has arrived! The great Kay Faraday presents a Simon impression.
Oh, a Simon impression.
Objection! Why you? Enough already. Psst. Hey, Miles, I'm buying you some time to get all your ducks in a row. There's probably a better way to stall for time than this, but whatevs. Ooh, nice one, Kay.
I'm not so sure about this method, either. But I have to find something that connects Simon to the case, and I need to find it now. Okay, well, if you just want to connect to the case, then again, the correspondence chess memo. If the evidence not related to the kidnapping that's connected to the mastermind's identity, yes, the correspondence chess memo, like I said. Yep, thanks for the hint, game, I already figured it out. That's it! The mastermind is the same person as the young acolyte Dojin was looking for. If I can just connect the young acolyte to Simon, which piece of evidence could be connected with the mastermind's true identity? That's easy, it's the correspondence chess memo.
Take that!
Knightley and Dojin both communicated through a certain individual.
Oh, then that somebody must be
the mastermind behind the case. That's it! The mastermind played a role in the correspondence chess. If I can prove that it was Simon, then...
That's enough. I can't stomach any more of your sorry excuse for performance. If you have no more objections, I ask that you let me get back to preparing for the show.
Objection!
Thank you for the help, Mr. Shields, though you may have taken it a little too far.
You sure look happy. I take it you found something. Look at me! me! I'm Simon. Simon's a clown.
Simon's a clown. Oh, okay. Okay, you can stop now. Now then, Mr. Keys, do you happen to like chess?
That was rather out of the blue. But since you asked, I can't say that I dislike chess.
The mastermind played correspondence chess with Sir Dojin.
If I recall, it was Knightley who had been playing chess with Dojin, wasn't it? Are you saying that he was the mastermind?
No. There was no way Knightley could have been the mastermind. The reason being, the mastermind has continued to work behind the scenes even after Knightley's death. That being the case, who could have written this letter? I believe someone acted as the middleman between Dojin and Knightley.
So you're saying that you think I'm the middleman? Ha ha ha! And just why would I have to go to all that trouble to do something like that? Whoa!
Most likely to make it appear as if there was a connection between Knightley and Dojin, and as a result, Knightley was killed by Patricia Rowland.
No way! Are you saying it was also just so that I would be killed by her?
Yes, I am.
What are you saying? There's no way I can manipulate a person that far.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and press X out on that one there, buddy.
Look at me! It takes all I have just to get the animals to perform tricks.
No, you snap your fingers and they do their little dance. That's all you do. If only just a scrap of the letters they exchanged with Knightley still remained. It'd be decisive evidence. I'd like to investigate your room. There could be decisive.
Objection.
If it's the letters you're looking for, you won't find any in there.
What?
I'm the type of guy who throws his letters away as soon as he's done reading them.
How wonderfully convenient.
Ugh.
Does that mean he's already gotten rid of the evidence?
Mr. Edgeworth, everything you have said so far has been nothing more than baseless conjecture.
The evidence. I'm just one step behind it. What should I do? Am I all out of moves?
Without evidence, I won't allow you to cast doubt on my friendship with Knightley.
Well, who was that?
Ah, excuse me.
Miss Berry? What's on her mind?
I've been listening on what you all were saying, and, when you say Mr. Knightley, you mean Simon's friend, Mr. Knightley, right?
Yes, that's correct. Does she know something?
This morning, a letter arrived from Mr. Knightley.
Oh, well, Simon! It appears the tables have turned in my favor. What? What did you say? But that's impossible. But he's already dead. Yeah, but that doesn't mean the letter could have been delayed in the mail, especially if it came from the prison, which I don't know if you remember, but it just got flipped upside down because the warden of the prison just got sentenced to prison. So, I can believe that the letter would be delayed a little bit. Miss Berry, please let me see that letter.
Okay, here you go. Quick, open it!
Next move the pawn to g6. Now can you see the path to checkmate? I can't wait to see the look on your face. You weren't expecting to lose a chess against me.
This is the response to Dojin's last move.
The postmark says March 26th, the day before Knightley's death. It seems the letter arrived late.
Since the circus moves around so much, a lot of the mail people send us to arrive late.
Now, why was this letter addressed to you? This is proof that you were the middleman between Dojin and Knightley. Normally, you would transcribe the letter into Braille before sending it to Dojin. And in doing so, you created a connection between him and Knightley.
Damn it, curse you, Knightley! Why must you continue to interfere? Simon, why? Wasn't Knightley your only friend? Ha! Don't be ridiculous. I stopped thinking of him as a friend 18 years ago.
Let me guess, because he locked you in the car and left you to freeze to death 18 years ago. Would that have been the day of the IS-7 incident?
Thanks to Knightley, I nearly died that day in the snowstorm while I was on my way to the contest venue where my father was waiting. Knightley suddenly appeared. He held me down, tied up my hands and feet,
Tune next time for the rest of the sentence.
and with tears streaming down his face. He kept apologizing. My dad's too scary. I can't disobey him. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Stop it, horse. I promised my dad. I said I'd taste his desserts. If I'm not there, Dad will be in trouble. I'm gonna let everyone know my dad's desserts are the best in the world. After that, he locked us inside a car. It was so cold I could see my own breath. Before we knew it, the doors had frozen shut and not even he could get them open. And then, I lost my father.
What?
Your father! Horace Knightley was the son of the murderer who killed,
Buddy? I think you might have your people confused. What could this mean? his confession runs contrary to the information we have. Yeah, I don't think you're, I think you might be a little bit confused. But the name of the victim in the IS-7 incident was Isaac Dover.
Isaac Dover is my father's name.
No. Buddy, I think you got your facts confused here.
18 years ago, my memories were muddled from the shock of my near-death experience.
Yeah, they're muddled. I could never have guessed by the fact that you just said that Dover was your father.
So it wasn't until later that I learned the truth.
You didn't learn the truth. No, you did not learn the truth. You learned the opposite of the truth. The culprit of the IS-7 incident was a confectioner by the name of Dane Gustavia.
Yeah, so that was the name of Knightley's...
No, what do you... No! How could you be so wrong? So you knew who the culprit was all along?
Ha! Well, of course not. Had I known, I would have tipped off the police a long time ago. All I knew was that Knightley's father was trying to set up my own father. That's why I immediately knew that the one who died with that day was my dad. Knightley had a hand in my father's murder. That traitor! He was the son of a killer! It's only natural that he ended up dead. Oh!
It would appear that you are a victim of a very serious misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding? Just what are you talking about?
Isaac Dover, at the time, he was actively working as a sculptor in France, under the name Pirouette.
Is that right? Well, I'm sorry to say I don't remember that at all.
It's only natural you don't remember. After all, he's not your real father.
Huh? What is that supposed to be, a joke? I am not amused.
You won't be able to laugh at all once I reveal the truth to you. This piece of evidence proves that you are not Isaac Dover's son. I suppose the ring would probably prove it, right? Because that has the pirouette dent on it.
What's that? Isn't that Knightley's chessboard in his ring?
I want you to take a good look at this ring design.
There are 2 letters inscribed in it.
That is the seal Pirouette uses as his signature. 18 years ago, it was found lying near the body of Isaac Dover.
Why would Knightley have my father's memento with him?
The police had found Isaac Dover's son and gave it to him. Isaac Dover's real son is Horace Knightley.
What? But that means I'm...
In other words, you are Dane Gustavia's son, as we already knew. Yep.
That's a lie, after all. My father is... My memories are...
Clearly wrong. They could not be more incorrect about...
I lost my father because Knightley locked me up in the car. That's why I thought it would be fitting if you were killed as well.
Really? I'll be able to see a circus show even in prison? Yeah, I enjoy playing chess with you. I'm looking forward to your performance as well.
Yes, please look forward to it.
Alright, you better drop by again. I'll be thinking about my next move.
Oh yeah, I've left something special inside that chessboard for you. You should check it out later.
Something special? I'm not quite sure what you mean, but thanks. I owe you one, Simon.
Only you hadn't stopped me 18 years ago. It wouldn't have had to come to this.
Huh? Did you say something?
Nope! Not a word. Goodbye, Horace. After all that, you're saying it was my father who killed Knightley's? Then that means, was it all for nothing? I didn't want to become some weakling who could be killed by anyone. That's why I thought I'd follow in Mr. Dojan's footsteps.
This finally proves it. Simon Keyes, you are Dojan's correspondence chess partner. And the mastermind behind this case.
That's right, it was me! I'm the mastermind behind it all!
Well, that was easy. He's finally showing his true colors.
As you all know, I witnessed the incident 12 years ago.
President Wang's assassination. So the child who drew that picture was Simon Keyes. Yeah, we assume that much.
When I was found out, I was subjected to horrible interrogations over and over by that heartless Patricia. I'd spend the nights trembling in my bed, terrified of what the next day would bring. I'm sure you can understand why I want to sneak out of there, right?
However, police would have likely sent pursuers after you.
Exactly! I was on the run from them every waking moment. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I couldn't even sleep at night. I'd jump at the slightest noise. And that's why I became a circus performer. Blaze DePest was the chief prosecutor, and Patricia Rowland was the warden of the prison. No ordinary person would be a match for those two, and there was no adult I could rely on. Furthermore, behind the scenes was the body double who had set those two in motion. Though he was a fake, I was up against a nation's president. Talk about utter despair, right? My only ally was Mr. Dojin. He saved my life after all. He actually helped me out, unlike Knightley.
If this story is true, it's ironic. Dojin, the fiendish assassin, was idolized by the child he saved.
I followed in his footsteps. I'd no longer have to worry about being eaten alive. That's right! Now it's my turn! My turn to devour those who would feed upon me!
And I suppose you never thought to seek help from the police?
No. As long as Blaze was around, any evidence would be destroyed by him. Actually, something like that almost happened today during Patricia's trial. I knew from the very beginning that things would turn out like this.
The evidence from Patricia Rowland's trial, so he's saying that he expected the evidence would be destroyed. I see. So that's why you kidnapped John. To force a guilty verdict, even in the absence of evidence.
Who's to say, but in order to expose the crimes of 12 years ago, there was no other choice.
That's according to you. However, Blaze also attempted to kidnap John in order to manipulate the trial in his favor. Your methods are no different from those of the police that you so despise.
That's only if I were actually the kidnapper, but I would never do anything so evil. No, I simply couldn't. Besides, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm actually quite thankful to the real criminals for giving me the opportunity to extract such sweet revenge.
So you admit it. Your motive was revenge.
Yeah, I admit it. So what? Sure, I held a grudge against those creeps. But it's not like I'm the one who actually killed them, you know? Truth be told, all I did was send some letters. I let Jill in on Blaze's secrets, and let Blaze in on Jill's secrets. And then, the two simply ended up trying to kill each other.
Do you mean to say the murder was nothing more than a result of that?
Yep! Just like the case at Gourd Lake. It's way easier than trying to control wild animals. All I did was come up with a fake assassination plan for Knightley.
So that was also part of his plan. If that's the case, then Rook's murder was also your...
Objection!
Whoa, don't try to pin that on me. Knightley killed them all on his own. Well, it ended up creating the perfect opportunity for me. It's funny how things work out.
How can you say such a thing?
It was the same for Patricia Rowland. I made it look like there was a connection between Knightley and Dojin by using the correspondence chess match and the chisel in the chessboard.
What? You mean to say that you were the one who prepared that chisel?
That's right. I thought it would bring Dojin to mind. Quite a thoughtful little gift, wouldn't you agree? And that was all it took to get Patricia to murder Knightley. Oh, the feeling that everyone around you is an enemy. I know it all too well. The tiniest spark can set off an explosion of fear, resulting in horrific mutual destruction. All I did was watch the comedy of errors unfold from the audience. And you were my final pawn, Mr. Edgeworth.
A pawn? Me?
When you solved their cases, you brought both Blaze and Patricia to their ruin. And the weapon that delivered the coup de grace was your own logic!
I didn't solve those cases for your sake.
Oh, I know. You never really cared about saving me. You just wanted to pretend to be a defense attorney, didn't you?
What did you just say to me?
All I had to do was go, no, and act all scared. And you totally believed me. You were giving it your all, trying to save me.
Ugh. So even your arrest was just a ploy to make me use my logic. Yeah, my superpower known as logic.
To be fair, getting arrested wasn't part of the plan. When people began to suspect that the chisel I sent was the murder weapon, honestly, I broke out into cold sweat. I thought for sure it would be curtains for me. But then, a turnabout of miraculous proportions. The genius prosecutor himself had come to my rescue. Well, doesn't it feel nice to be thanked by me, the one that you saved? You should be grateful. I gave you this chance to play the ace attorney.
Yeah, I've had many chances to do that over the past couple months. Actually, no, over the past year.
You're wrong. He wasn't pretending to be a defense attorney. Mr. Edgeworth is always serious about saving people. Even the times when he saved me in the past.
Kay.
Is that so? Are you sure he's not just trying to emulate his own father, the one he admires so much? Absolutely not! That's not true at all! Now, Kay. The person he's talking about isn't Miles, but rather Simon himself. Clearly he is not able to trust others. The desire to save someone other than himself is something he cannot even comprehend. Say what you want, but make sure you think about it long and hard. Sure, all my targets for revenge got what they deserved in the end. However... Think about it. Can any one of my actions really be considered a crime? I instigated murder. There's not a single word about that in the letter, is there? If I had said the word kill even once, I guess it could be considered instigation. Well, maybe I did say it, but there's no way for you to prove it.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You told on the phone, you said I was the one who ordered Blaze the Best to kill Joe Crane. And you know who got that on recording? Nicole, with her stupid tape recorder, which appears to have disappeared. Where'd it go? It's in one of these pages. There's 5 pages of evidence. There, right here, okay. She got it on recording because she intercepted our conversation with the bug that you planted on us. So yes, we absolutely can prove it. Nice try though, Simon.
What are you saying? You kidnapped me! I'm sorry, but that hasn't been proven yet, has it? The only thing I admitted to was sending the letters. Besides, those letters contain no threats or coercions. I simply conveyed information that each recipient would find beneficial.
Ugh, you crafty little... Credit where it's due. Simon is one smart motherfucker. He might be the most intelligent foe we've ever faced off against. Because he's right. He never directly told anyone to kill anyone. He never even suggested, he just said things. And then other people got their ideas, and he's really crafty. But he did still kill the body double. I'm sticking to that. He killed the body double, and he kidnapped Kay, but he knows it. Well, we're gonna be able to prove it. But as far as he's concerned, right now, there's no way for us to prove either of those things. But we'll prove them eventually, don't worry. But credit where it's due. He's really goddamn smart.
What was it he said?
Instigating murder. Instigating murder is when a person directs someone else to commit murder. The person who directed the murder can be charged as if he committed that crime himself.
So we just have to find proof that he directed those murders. You make it sound so easy. To be honest, it kind of pisses me off a little. You're all trying to frame an innocent person for murder. Don't you understand? I'm not obligated to waste any more time on this pointless discussion.
The police are waiting for you outside of this tent. You have nowhere to run.
Really now? You think I wouldn't have an escape route prepared?
And what exactly would that escape route be? You gonna fly away in your little balloon?
For example,
let's say, like Pennywise the Clown.
I gave an order so that all the animals here attacked you. Now what if I were to take my leave during the ensuing chaos?
What'd you say? You can't be serious.
It was just an example. Wouldn't that make for an interesting show? Oh, here's another idea. What if I pull out a hidden gun and took John hostage? That might be more exciting.
I will never allow you to do such a thing. I can't tell whether or not Simon is being serious. However, when it comes to him, we should consider anything as a possibility.
If you continue to bore me with your drivel, I'll end the show right here. I'd like you to keep that in mind before you make any baseless objections.
Oh, I cannot make any careless remarks. Isn't there some way I can charge him with his crimes? Yes, because Nicole got it on tape. This is easy. All we gotta do is just present that tape recorder and the thing where he's like, you can't prove it, smarmy little shit. Yes, we can prove it. We absolutely can prove it. So let me just go ahead and open up the organizer and show you the tape recorder.
Objection!
It is my firm conviction that you instigated the murders. After all, you told me so yourself.
Perhaps I should let you in on this, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, I was the one who ordered Blaze the Best to kill Joe Crane.
What?
Did I say that? I really don't remember.
You may think you can deceive us as much as you want, but unfortunately for you...
Unfortunately?
You used a bug to eavesdrop on our conversations. But there was someone else who wiretapped that bug of yours and recorded the whole thing.
It was recorded?
In other words, the conversation between you and that clown is recorded on that tape. Like Z says... A schemer drowns in his own schemes, and this is what he meant. Miss Swift, I'd like to listen to your tape.
Roger. It's right about here.
You're going down, Simon.
Mr. Edgeworth, Judge Cody's cell phone is ringing.
Who is this? Are you the person who ambushed Kay?
Mr. Edgeworth, I want to listen to this too.
Very well. This is where it starts.
Well, I must say.
What? What must you say?
Huh? That's odd.
Don't tell me! Don't tell me this crafty piece of shit turned off, like, disabled the bug when he started talking to us. You little... Simon?
Well, there ain't nothing recorded past this point.
Oh my god, he turned it off.
Why? Why wasn't it recorded? Wow! Too bad, so sad. Do you really think I'd leave behind any incriminating evidence? The bug I planted is a special feature. It can be turned on and off with a remote control. What? That sort of thing exists?
Certainly, remote control and listening devices do exist. However...
Are you saying you switched off the device so that your own voice would not be recorded? Precisely! Oh!
Impossible! You couldn't have done that unless you knew you were being recorded.
Objection!
Isn't it obvious I knew? I guess you just don't get it. You could call it a hunch. I had a feeling I was being wiretapped. Miss Swift, was it? I figured things out because you knew about the kidnapping.
Don't tell me. You were listening in on that conversation?
That's right! Though, come to think of it, I'm surprised you didn't realize it until now. Some genius prosecutor you turned out to be, Mr. Edgeworth! Oh!
Ugh.
Oh my, and what was the end result of all this? Since you don't have any proof of the instigation charges, it's game over.
Ugh.
Mr. Prosecutor, was my recording no help to you at all? Ain't there anything at all in my recording?
Well... Maybe we can check a recording from 2 nights ago. Actually, yeah, let's check the recording 2 nights ago. Because we may not be able to get him to hear him say anything, but we can check to hear the gunshots. Because remember, part of our theory is that when he took Kay up to the roof, the body double shot the balloon, and then he landed the balloon on top of the body double to kill him. So if we hear the gunshots, that'd be pretty indicative. Miss Swift. Kay.
Yes?
The bug was planted in your badge, right? Do you have any ideas?
How do you expect me to come up with an answer right off the top of my head? You were the only one who came into contact with the culprit. How unsightly. You're all fussing over useless evidence. Let's move on to the next topic. Next!
What's this? He seems a bit eager to change the topic of conversation.
You were the only one who came into contact with the culprit.
Only Kay came into contact with Simon. If any sound was recorded at the time she was with the culprit. Miss Swift, how long have you been recording?
Since 2 nights ago, I reckon.
Since 2 nights ago. Exactly what we need. In that case, when could a conversation with Simon possibly have been recorded? I doubt that... okay, well, 2 nights ago. But I doubt we're gonna hear a conversation because I don't think Simon's the type to talk to himself in a hot air balloon while Kay's unconscious. But we might be able to hear the gunshots. 2 nights ago, Simon brought Kay to the roof. If we listen to the recording from that time frame. Miss Swift, please let us listen to the recording from 2 nights ago.
Huh? Okie dokie. This is the son of a hot air balloon.
That's right. At the time, Simon was carrying Kay in the hot air balloon. Ergo, he was near Kay. Isn't there anything recorded? Ah! Aha! There we go. Okay, so he fires 1 shot and it pops the balloon. Or okay, so either he because there wasn't a second bang, but there was also really long distance between the 2 shots. Okay, let's assume there's only 1 gunshot. So he fires the gun, it hits. I originally thought that it would have hit the balloon, and that would have caused Simon to go out of control and land on him. But now that I know it's Simon, I'm thinking maybe it was a bit more deliberate. Maybe he hit the bottom of the basket that he was riding in, and that pulled his attention on top of the roof, and he's like, "Oh, you're down there. Well, I can't land with Kay while you're down there, so hold still. I'm coming in for a landing, Wonder Pets." And then he just crushed him. So that'll, and like I said, this explains the gunpowder burn that the president had.
That was...
A gunshot? It seems you were quick to deactivate the bug. However, you were a little too late. You can't run anymore. That gunshot ties you to this case!
Huh? What are you saying? There's no gun involved in this case, is there?
Yes, there is. No, there should be someone connected to the case who fired a gun. Let's strike with the evidence that points to that person. Which piece of evidence connects the gunshot to the case? That would be the crime scene notes, because that's the one that says, right, it says the gunpowder burns. Yes, gunpowder residue was found in the right hand. Here we go. Here we go. I love this pursuit music. It's written right here in the body doubler's autopsy report. Gunpowder residue was detected on his right hand. Where was Kay at the time this gunshot was recorded? That's right, she was being carried to the roof of the Grand Tower in your balloon, and as it turns out, there were a few more people on that very same rooftop at the time.
You mean the double and me? Ah, certainly, after we talked for a brief moment. The body double noticed something and had me leave before him.
Now, what if the gunshot rang out after that? We can clearly hear it in the recording. I doubt that you wouldn't have noticed it. Do you intend to feign ignorance until the very end?
That's nothing more than mere conjecture.
What we heard on the recording was not just a gunshot. If you listen closely, you can hear the bullet hitting something. If the body double was aiming at Simon, then the bullet may have struck which piece of evidence. It's probably struck the basket of the balloon. And if it did, then we can just go check the balloon and see if there's a bullet hole underneath it. The body double likely fired the gun at the balloon. If we assume that the bullet hit something, it would have been the balloon's basket.
Let's examine it immediately.
Alright, so it would probably be the underside, so let's go ahead and check. Aha! Right here! This hole.
It's a bullet hole!
A bullet hole was found in the basket. You won't be able to talk your way out of this one. Lion balloon data updated in my organizer. Ah! How do you intend to explain the gunshot and bullet hole?
So you figured it out. You're good. I guess it's impossible to hide anything from you.
Spit it out already.
Okay, no need to be impatient.
Alright, here we go. Just keep the train coming. We're gonna get him, don't worry. It happened when I was riding the balloon to the rooftop.
I saw the body double and you, Miss Courtney, on the roof. Talk about a surprise. Only the double noticed me. He told Miss Courtney to leave ahead of him. He then pointed a gun at me and fired.
And why do you think he would do that?
Why do you want to shoot the balloon? It's simple. The body double had intended to kill Miss Courtney. Kill me? That's right! You talked to the double about John, didn't you? Well, it's not like the body double would have met with you otherwise. From his point of view, it was like showing him evidence that he was a fake.
You mean he was afraid of Judge Courtney because she knew about John's past?
Afraid? That's exactly right! The body double was a coward, after all. I remember how his hands were trembling when he fired the gun at my balloon. Are we all clear now? I was only there by chance, just a friendly witness who was passing by.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. And I'm gonna press that to you because I'm going to press some more information about when he shot you, because I don't. There were other ways to achieve his goal other than shooting at your balloon. The bullet struck the balloon's basket cleanly.
I managed to quickly try to get away so he wouldn't shoot me down.
Well, that's a bold-faced lie, because you had to land on the roof with Kay in order to drop her off. So no, you didn't escape.
Talk about a close call.
You say you tried to get away right then.
That's right. Is there a problem?
Yes, there's a big old problem with that. There's a ginormous problem with that. You must have placed Kay on the rooftop. You couldn't have gotten away before then, correct?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. After the body double fired one shot, he entered the hatch to the 51st floor.
What? No, he didn't. Lotta would have seen him. Lotta would have absolutely seen him. No, you little lying piece of shit. Lotta would have. Yeah, please tell us some testimony.
Sure, I don't mind.
Lotta would have seen him going to the 51st floor, except she didn't. Once again, you lied.
Lied?
The body double could not have entered the storeroom on the 51st floor 2 nights ago. Miss Hart's testimony proves it.
What? How can you trust that sham journalist testimony? What'd you say?
You can't insult my mentor like that. 2 nights ago, that lady was singing at the 51st floor. Given that, just how did that body double leave the roof? Indeed, that is what we must now provide, must now prove. If you did not use the elevator on the 51st floor to leave the room, or the roof, there only one route remains. How did the body double leave the roof without using the elevator or the 51st floor? I'll tell you how. Because Simon crushed him with a hot air balloon, then put him in the balloon basket after dropping K off and left the roof.
Take that!
The body double flew. He
Flew?
Simon Keys, he rode in your balloon!
Hey, stop joking around,
Said the man dressed in a clown makeup.
Why would I have needed to give the body a double lift?
Because you killed him. The elevator had a security camera, and the 51st floor was being watched by Miss Hart. Your balloon was the only way the body double could have left the roof.
At the circus, we often perform danger stunts in order to surprise the audience. You think you've got me cornered? Sorry, but the show ends here.
What?
Hey you, Lotta, was it? I'd like to ask you something. Are you saying you stood watch on the 51st floor the entire time, without any breaks?
Well, reckon course. There ain't no mistake in my testimony.
Really now? But didn't the sound of Mr. Edgeworth's assistant falling into the storeroom cause you to faint?
I didn't mention it before, but after that I might have dozed off a little. To be more precise, I fainted? Well, something like that. So something did happen. Miss Hart, I have determined the sound that made you faint. It was likely the sound of K falling onto the storeroom floor.
Well, what's your point? Nobody's perfect. Look at her, Mr. Edgeworth. That's the kind of person you're relying on.
K fell into the storeroom after the body double had left the roof.
In that case, I have a theory on how things happened. After that cowardly body double fired a shot at me, he went and hid in the shadows until K fell into the storeroom.
What?
So what if he was hiding?
Good grief. You guys still haven't noticed?
What if the body double stayed hidden until Lotta had fainted? And then he went down to the 51st floor?
That can't be. Precisely. Lockroom mystery on the roof has been unlocked. Gah! Whoa! He even said it in my voice.
But wait, there's more! I told the hidden body double about John Marsh. That's why he attacked John the next day during practice, but got himself killed instead. In other words, the one who murdered the body double was none other than John!
Really, we're going through this line of questioning again. John had no motive to kill the body double. Nor the means, nor the strength, nor the will, nor the motive, nor anything.
He knew he was the real president's son.
And how would he have known that?
Because I told him so, in a letter.
What did you say?
That is a lie. Yep, it's all a lie.
What?
But then again, maybe not. Maybe I really did tell him. Right, John?
It's true that I caused Mozilla's head to fall, but I didn't know about my dad until today. I'm not lying.
Really? I wonder about that. I found out about the head falling thanks to the bug. Now, if you were the one who caused it to fall,
the head wasn't the thing to kill him. No, he was crushed, yeah, but not by the bull, or the head, or the moo, whatever, the cow, whatever. The head was not the thing to kill him.
That settles it. You are the culprit. You successfully carried out your revenge. Congratulations! All pieces of the puzzle are now in place. As Mr. Edgeworth would say,
the logic fits. Now then, any rebuttals? Oh, yes, indeed, there are rebuttals. The murder of the double, okay.
Manipulating humans into fighting with each other. Sounds just like me, right? I did the same thing to Knightley and Blaze. At any rate, there's no way the body double could have gone for a ride in my balloon.
And why is that?
The double was crushed by the monster's head.
Nope, it was crushed by your balloon. It was crushed by your balloon.
Do you understand now? Who the body double's the real killers?
Yeah, it's you.
The truth that I provided them with gave a big motive for murder. Get it? Those two tried to kill each other because of the truth you're so fond of.
Impossible.
Hey, you detectives over there. Hurry up and arrest this murderer. What's wrong? Why aren't you moving?
Damn.
I thought so. Just admit it. In the end, aren't you all the same as Blaze and the body double? You ignored the prime suspect and come after me without any evidence. How easily it can be distorted to best suit your needs, this law you all believe in. That is by no means true. If you're not gonna arrest anyone, maybe I should have a talk with the policeman outside. If I tell them that John Marsh is the killer, they'll be forced to take action.
Simon Keys, your testimony isn't over yet.
Really? I figured you'd try to stop me, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any evidence, do you? Which means there's no chance for you to win, right? But if you still plan to stop me, you should prepare to take on this much risk.
Oh wow, I'm shaking, I'm quaking in my boots. What, that much?
It's only natural. After all, the fate of the true culprit, John Marsh, is at stake here.
Yeah, the penalty bars never scared me. The only time in which I was genuinely scared that I was gonna run out of penalties, or like run out of penalty life or whatever, was in, ironically enough, the Turnabout Big Top case. So, yeah, just because that case was just atrocious, but this case is like a million times better than I could have ever dreamed to be.
Hey, Miles. Why don't you take a nice deep breath?
Mr. Shields?
At times like this, you should take a breather and think back. Defense attorneys always remain calm in a pinch and smile in the face of danger. The point of contention between your logic and his claims lies in the body double's escape route. How about, for example, we think of it like this. What's important isn't whether or not the body double got on the balloon, but rather, if we were to assume he did, what circumstances would have allowed for that?
Turn my thinking around?
Well, all I'm doing is a cheap imitation of your old man. Did it help?
Circumstances that would have allowed the body double to get on the balloon. That's right. The body double not only had a large beard, but he also had a gun. And in spite of that, no traces of sleeping drugs were found in his system. Which means, it can't be.
Mr. Edgeworth, are you ready yet? Hope you haven't forgotten about this.
Yeah, I don't care, because I already know what happened. This is bad, I must break this system somehow. I already figured this out yesterday. And now, all that's left to do is expose the truth for all to see. Alright, so, you claim that the falling head was the thing to kill the president, or the body double, huh? Well, you see, that's where you're wrong. John was not the one who killed the body double. He was crushed by a monster.
Ah, quit clowning around. This isn't like you at all. Oh, I get it. Since John is supposed to understand the heart of a monster.
The one who understands the heart of a monster is you.
Not even I have monsters for friends, you know.
Stop being so modest. Didn't you have one very important friend? A monster you control at will! Simon Keys, you're the one who killed the body double!
That's...
Line balloon. A monster made of cloth that expands when filled with hot air. It suits you quite well, wouldn't you agree?
Sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've been fixated on your claim that you manipulated John and the body double. Probably because it's an impossible fantasy of yours. After all, even an animal tamer cannot tame the dead. The body double had already been murdered while he was on the roof. And the murder weapon was the balloon you were in! I see, although it floats in the air, that balloon still weighs several hundred pounds. When the double threatened you on the rooftop, you immediately came up with a plan to defend yourself, and that plan was to crush him with your balloon! Whether the body double wanted to get on, or that he was carrying a gun, none of that matters, because what you carried in your balloon was the body double's corpse!
Hold on a second, Mr. Edgeworth. You're saying the double was killed on the rooftop 2 nights ago? Well, that simply doesn't match up with the time of death.
It will, once we prove that you put that you dumped the body in the Sunshine Warehouse to freeze him overnight to throw off the time of death. What did you say?
That's not like you at all, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a good look at the autopsy report. The time of death was around 11 p.m. last night.
Oh, you poor unfortunate soul. How you think. It's funny, it's so cute how you think that I haven't already thought of this. But you're wrong.
Last night? That's right, the very night that Lucifer's head fell. Well, Johnny boy, come on. How about telling us the truth? You killed your father, right? I know the feeling. You hated him, didn't you? Your father who left you all alone forever. You're wrong. I had no idea that guy was my dad. Not this again. Didn't I personally tell you myself?
Ugh, was my logic wrong? No, it wasn't.
Mr. Edgeworth, allow me to thank you once again for chasing down Blaze and Patricia and bringing them both to ruin. My revenge was a success, all thanks to your logic!
If only the time of death matched, then my logic would fit. Perhaps he did something to throw off the time of death.
And what's more, Dane Gustavia, was it? You even took down the culprit of the IS-7 incident.
Dane Gustavia? And the IS-7 incident? That's it! Gustavia killed Dover and hid his body in a block of ice. Yeah, thanks for pointing it out to me, game. I definitely didn't already figure this out. If the time of death had coincided with the tea party, Mr. Gustavia would have been suspected. That is correct. That sniveling laugh. Wow, I didn't even notice that. They really are more alike than he thinks.
It's a shame I didn't get to witness this destruction. How can you say that? Wasn't Mr. Gustavia your father, Simon?
Well, to be fair, Gustavia was kind of a shitty parent. He's like, oh, you know, my son's missing. Oh well, I guess I'll keep baking my cake over here. I mean, Simon's still an irredeemable piece of shit, but, like, his father was also kind of an irredeemable piece of shit, so I guess it runs in the family.
I'm scared. I'm so scared. Mr. Rowland keeps asking about that day. Daddy, help me. Oh, why won't you come save me? Is it because I broke my promise with you and didn't eat your sweets? I couldn't care less. My father left me all alone. Even if we share the same blood, that man is not my father.
I hate to say it, but like father, like son, you're the spitting image of him, Simon, the father you hated so much.
Huh? What are you talking about?
It must have been fate. By sheer coincidence, you just happened to use the exact same method your father did. To throw off the victim's time of death! And we rescued him from the refrigerated warehouse near the harbor, pal!
A refrigerated warehouse? You're saying that I threw off the time of death? How would I have done that?
The answer lies in where you hid the body double's body. This was the place that you used to hide the body. You went to the Sunshine Warehouse. Throwing off the time of death by freezing the body, along with John's kidnapping. It seems that everything is coming together.
The kidnapping? Why are we going back to that? I don't know a thing about it.
Don't forget, John was confined in a refrigerated warehouse. That's right, you kept the body double's corpse in that very same warehouse. 18 years ago, your father hid a body in the same way!
What, my father, the one who abandoned me, did the same thing?
Who would have guessed that both father and son would use the same method?
Stop it! Don't lump me in with that guy! My father, I'm nothing like him. There's not a single connection between us.
You may think so, but even now your bond with Mr. Gustavia still remains. Didn't you say once before, I don't like sweets? That may have come from the shock of losing your father, don't you think?
You guys have no idea what you're saying.
Oh, don't we now? Even if you're not your father, aren't your thoughts and actions the same? Particularly, your belief of sacrificing others to protect yourself. And finally, your crimes were brought to light just as his were! Is this his final breakdown? What? This sack of shit just baited me. I thought we were done. I was getting ready to celebrate and stand up and be like, yes, we won. And then this guy's like, lol, JK, just kidding, bro.
I don't know anything about that warehouse. I had nothing to do with the kidnapping after all.
Objection!
In order to threaten Judge Courtney, it's clear that you partook in the kidnapping.
Objection!
How scary. Those who get involved with you will be charged with all sorts of crimes. In the end, there's no evidence for the instigation and for the kidnapping.
Not at all, for God's sake. This This man is too smart for us. I'm not even kidding you. There's nothing left, seriously. Okay, obviously there's something, because the game has to end, so there's something I'm overlooking here. Something in the organizer, there's something here that I'm overlooking. Okay, it has to be something related to the, I don't even know where to start. There's 5 pages of evidence. I have no idea where to even start combing through this. But there's gotta be something that we missed. Okay, so, what would be the easiest thing to prove? It would probably have something to do with killing the body double, right? Because that was a split-second decision. Everything else he did was meticulously planned. He spent years plotting his revenge. But the only thing he did that was a spur-of-the-moment, instantaneous, gut reaction decision was his decision to kill the body double on top of the roof. So the only thing I can think is that maybe there's something he let, like maybe we can find a dent from the basket on him or something. Oh, wait, no, I have a better idea. Wait, the thing, the yellow thing on his chest. I was wrong. Okay, so we already proved that the yellow thing on his chest wasn't the motor oil. I was wrong about that. It was the pollen from the flower. But here's the thing. If there's pollen on his chest and he was crushed like that, then guess what, buddy? You want to know where else that pollen should be? That pollen should also be, or at least traces of the pollen, should be on the underside of this balloon right here. So all we gotta do is just check under here, have Emma Sky do a luminol test for pollen, and all of a sudden, we will have found some evidence that proves you is the one who killed the body double, and once we prove that, all the remaining logic will fall right into place. I think that's gonna be it.
What? You can afford some evidence? Just like Blaze and the rest?
We don't need to. Oh, I'll do nothing of the sort. I can't let him provoke me.
You always say, I'll
pursue the truth no matter what.
Right? Oh, don't you mean only the truth that's most convenient to you? After all, that's how the police pull the wool over the eyes of those without power. And that's why my revenge was necessary. None of you can catch me! Not Patricia, not Blaze, and not even you!
Mr. Edgeworth, at this rate, isn't there anything we can do? Even though all my logic points to this man, I just need evidence. Even a single piece of evidence would suffice. We have it, just check the underside of the balloon.
Well, it's been a fun show. Looks like it's time for the curtains to close. If you'd like, why don't you come and see my next performance? I'll let you if you admit defeat.
Who? Is it Emma Sky with the game-winning idea?
Who is that?
Gumshoe! Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Edgeworth.
Gummy, where'd you go?
I was just doing the job that I'm able to do, pal. Detective Gumshoe. Your report, please. I did a quick investigation, sir, about the warehouse John was at. The refrigerated warehouse is currently being rented by the Very Big Circus. Well, would you look at that? Haha, so it's finally here, our trump card. Well done, Detective Gumshoe. Now then, Mr. Keys. Maybe we won't need the pollen after all.
There must be some mistake. Maybe it has something to do with the circus.
I see. Indeed. We are not well informed with the affairs of the circus. In that case, why don't we get your boss's opinion on this? Regina.
We are renting a refrigerated warehouse to store the animals' food, but I don't know much about the place. After all, I let Simon handle everything. Oh, did you now? Curse you, Perry the Platypus! Simon, how scary.
What a shame. It seems your desperate actions after the crime were in vain. If the body was found in the warehouse, suspicion would have fallen on you, the one in charge. That's why you specifically moved the body back to the Grand Tower, wasn't it? However, your finding John confined to the warehouse was a fatal mistake on your part. Our resident great thief and detective are both rather exemplary. What's wrong? I can even tell through your face paint that you're looking pale.
It's not over yet, Mr. Edgeworth. Your logic is missing the most important piece of evidence.
Oh, please do tell.
Isn't it obvious? Evidence that I killed the body double.
Alright, hey Emma Sky, how about you come over here with a luminol test and let's put this motherfucker behind bars. We're gonna get him. Just check the other side of the balloon, and it's game over for you, Simon.
You can't present it, can you? After all, there's no way such evidence could possibly exist.
The evidence, it exists.
What'd you say?
If Mr. Keys murdered the victim, traces of the murder should still remain here on the balloon. It should become clear once we examine the basket of this balloon.
Yeah, the balloon again? Didn't you already find the bullet hole? There's no way you'll find anything else there.
Oh, really?
It'll be fine. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth is a hero who always finds the truth, no matter what he's up against.
That's right, pal. Of course it's gonna be fine. Mr. Edgeworth has gotten out of more impossible situations than I can count. Miles, I believe in you too. But more importantly, I'm sure your old man watching over you believes in you as well.
Miles Edgeworth, calm down and think. You're just one step away from the perfect proof.
The body double was killed by this balloon. The proof lies in the traces left on the basket. Simon Keys, it's time for you to atone for your crimes. I'll see it with my own eyes. The moment this past case is settled once and for all.
Please, Prosecutor Edgeworth, deliver the final blow to this unforgivable person.
This is the final piece of evidence that proves your crimes. What traces were left on the balloon that crushed the victim? That would be traces of the lion lily bouquet. Take that! When John found the body, a bouquet of lion lilies were there as well. Lion lilies? The flowers from Zane Faye that represent the bond between parent and child.
That's your evidence? Surely they must be buried under a mountain of garbage by now. Moreover, the one who threw it away was John himself. That's not much of a bond now, is it? That language of flower stuff has got nothing to do with this.
Calm down, John. Certainly, you may have thrown the flowers away. However, I believe those emotions remain as strong as ever. Those bonds will surely protect you from that man in the form of my final piece of evidence.
What the heck are you talking about?
Those flowers were crushed, ergo they must have come into contact with the murder weapon. Perhaps we'll find the very same pollen still stuck to the basket of your balloon.
No way!
Oh, he's scared now.
You guys examined the basket a few moments ago. If there had been any yellow pollen stuck on there, wouldn't you have noticed it then?
Mr. Keys, evidence is not restricted to what you can see with the naked eye.
What?
Emma! Yes? Would you perform one more scientific investigation for us?
Leave it to me. The balloon's basket, right?
Ah, a reaction. This is clearly pollen from a yellow flower. Well, would you look at that? We'll find out soon enough whether or not it's from the same flower.
What?
Come on. Give me your breakdown. I'd say this proves that. The body double's death was caused directly by your own hand. This might be the last time we hear the music in the entire game. Let's make it count.
No way! That can't be.
You crushed the body double to death on the roof of the tower. Then, you retrieved the body and hid it in the warehouse. Why did he have to go to the trouble of retrieving the body? 2 nights ago, he knew that a separate incident would occur at the tower.
Ah, Miss Grains!
Precisely. Leaving the body there would have disrupted his plans. I see, but even so, he couldn't leave the body in the circus warehouse either. Exactly. So the next day, when he was bringing the body back to the tower once again, he saw the small fire John started, which caused Mozilla's head to fall. Was that when the idea came to you? Your plan to pin the crime on John?
Ah! You made it look like the murder weapon was the fallen head. Such foul, cowardly behavior.
For that reason, you carried the double's body in the balloon and lowered it into the film knot. At that time, the figure of the body double being lowered down by a rope was captured in John's video recording.
Damn, it was all. You saw through it all! Damn it! Damn you!
You manipulated animals, you manipulated people, and you manipulated cases. Almost as if you were a king. However, it's now all come to an end.
Simon, the animals have gotten angry. Even Money and Astique. You never thought of them as your friends at all. How sad.
Oh, you pissed off the tiger. Oh, you're dead, buddy.
Damn it! Don't you look at me with those eyes!
It's about time you went back to being a mere clown. A fitting end to your pitiful Jester's act!
Stay away! Get away from me! Stop it! Please stop it! Daddy, help me! I'm scared! I'm so scared! I don't know anything. I don't do anything bad. They were the bad ones, weren't they? Horace, why'd you stop me? He hadn't done that, I couldn't even trust the police. Nobody would help me.
Oh. That's a chills down the spine moment. What?
The only one who helped me was Dojin, so I used everyone else.
Oh, so okay, I thought he was actually here.
Stop it! Don't come any closer! Stop!
Oh, dear God. Oh, God. Oh, no! Oh, please. Oh, my God! Oh, my God! That was fantastic! Which one do I pick first? Which of those 60 million amazing things just happened do I pick first? First off, the freaking monkey beat him up, the polar bear thing, like, drop kicked him, the gorilla punched his teeth down his throat, and then the elephant sucked him up! That was, what? What did I just watch? Also, who's talking? Shelly the Killer. I completely forgot about you.
Mr. Edgeworth, I must thank you. You have exposed the true identity of the mastermind. Now, I am free to...
What? What?
Drawing a gun would be most inadvisable. Stay where you are and do not move.
I don't have a gun.
You do have a gun, do you not? You intended to draw and fire it without anyone noticing.
He must have taken it from the body double when he killed him.
This man has betrayed his bond of trust with me. He would have me kill the president while knowing full well he was the body double. Lying about a target is an extremely dangerous thing to do to an assassin. Not having all the cards on the table can seriously jeopardize an assassination. However, what is even more unforgivable is your deception and your attempts to manipulate me. The time has come for your retribution.
Stop! Yo, what?
You are?
It has been far too long, Shelly.
Please step aside. That man is my prey.
Two assassins facing up against each other? What is going on in this game anymore? I don't... What?
I must ask you to spare his life. Please permit this young acolyte to receive his proper punishment in prison.
And if I refuse?
He is the first life I have saved. I will not allow it to be taken away so easily.
You saved a life? The assassin Surindojin?
Ironic, is it not? That I, the one who has taken countless lives, am making a plea for this young one's life. He saved my life, just as I have saved his. Before I knew it, I grew quite fond of the lad. You may laugh at me as much as you wish. However, I must ask that you spare the life of the boy. From one assassin to another, please make this allowance.
I understand. If you are willing to go that far...
You have my thanks. I am in your debt.
No need for thanks. I simply felt there would be no merit in a fight to the death with you. That is all. And with that, I must take my leave.
And just like that, he's gone. Damn it! Wait. Yeah, good luck, Lang. Yeah, you of all people are gonna be the one to catch Shelly the Killer. Yeah, you have fun with that. I'll hold my breath.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, I must thank you as well. It was necessary for this young acolyte to be put in his place, and that you have done. Now then, it's time for me to return to my humble cage surrounded by iron bars. Right, Anubis? Right, boy? Oh, look who's here. Hey, Freeze Guy, you killed my dad, right?
Indeed, I am not one to forget those I have slain.
I see. You must despise me, boy with horns. In that case. Ugh!
John! Do not panic. I simply lent the boy with horns my knife. Take that knife and run it through my throat.
Buddy, what the hell do you think you're doing?
I've long grown weary of my wooden carvings.
John? John? Hey, someone grab John. So someone grabbed the milk carton and poured it all over him so he can't do anything.
John, don't do it!
John, please! I beg of you!
John?
Until just now, I had intended to seek revenge, no matter how many years it took. Revenge? Revenge is good, really good. All your pain and suffering slips away, everything becomes numb, and you'll feel nothing. Yeah, you may be right. I thought about that while I listened to what you had to say.
John!
But the only one who would be satisfied with revenge would be myself, right? If I became a murderer, my mom would go through even more pain and suffering. My friends from the movie, too. And all those people who care about me as well. This boy with horns says some interesting things. That's right, I finally get it now. I'll never forgive you, but I'm not the one who should punish you. After all, isn't that what my mom and that prosecutor guy here for? John? John! You just said some really profound stuff just now, and he's 13 years old. Okay, perhaps you should study up a little more yourself.
Is that so? Well then, young one, it is time for us to depart.
Where to?
It's the prison, of course. That place will be our home.
Our home?
So Simon finally gets his family. Well, alright then. And with that, the case that involved and affected so many people came to a close. However, there was still one last thing I had to do. April 8th, 2:54 p.m., Grand Tower PIC meeting room.
Mr. Edgeworth! Sorry to keep you waiting.
Why'd you call Uncle Ray and the rest of us out here? Mr. Edgeworth? The formal proceedings have just come to a close.
What are you talking about? This is the place where I once relinquished my prosecutor's badge.
This is your prosecutor's badge? Prosecutor Edgeworth, what is the meaning of this?
Consider this my resignation. I am no longer a prosecutor.
In order to save me when I was suffering from memory loss, you...
A certain man once said, the only ally a defendant has is their attorney. By trusting in their client, an attorney draws closer to the truth. The sight of that man still shines brilliantly in my eyes. Just as the image of my father fighting in court does. Gregory. However, this is nothing more than that man and my father's way of life. It is not mine.
Mr. Edgeworth!
I think I shall live as a prosecutor after all.
I see. So, you've made your decision.
I'm sorry.
No, I understand. That's your answer, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, and that's the end of this conversation. Don't regret it. Even if you blame me later, I won't let you work for me ever again.
I understand.
But you know, Miles, mind if I ask why you chose to live as a prosecutor?
Mr. Shields, you asked me this before.
To fight crime as a prosecutor or to save people as a defense attorney. I want you to think carefully about how you want to live your life from now on.
I've thought long and hard about that question ever since. How should I live my life? And after this case concluded, I finally found my answer. I want to save people as a prosecutor.
As a prosecutor?
Simon Keyes. He too was a victim. He lost a parent in a past murder, and with it, the ability to believe in anything else. I too know that feeling. The feeling of losing what's important to you and being unable to believe in anything else. I doubted everything during my lonely battles in those days. All that I can hope to do is get every defendant declared guilty. The one who saved me was... Mr. Keyes must have been all alone. Unable to find salvation from the law, he had no choice but to turn his hand to revenge. And I suppose you never thought to seek help from the police?
No, as long as Blaze was around, any evidence would be destroyed by him.
By the way, that clown voice that I gave him, like the mixture of the Joker and Pennywise, killed my throat. So, I'm... For as sad as I am that we're coming up on the end of the game here, I'm also happy that my voice is finally gonna get a rest, because I've been recording non-stop for 2 days. I mean, obviously not literally non-stop, but I've just been recording, like, constantly. So, my voice is a little drained. I want to save those like Simon Keyes.
So, how would you save him?
I'm sure this tragedy could have been avoided if only he could have relied on the courts.
But instead, he was cornered by Blaze the Best, who used the power of law for evil. The form of the law can change depending on who wields it. It can be at once a shield to protect and a blade to harm. That, too, is a contradiction of the law.
A contradiction, huh?
That's true. It sure is a contradiction in the law. The way the law is right now, it isn't always completely right.
The only way to right those contradictions is by joining in the court system. The one who could have saved Simon Keyes was not an attorney, but rather a watchman of the law, a prosecutor. I shall face the contradictions in the laws as a prosecutor.
I see. That's just like you. But you know, it'll be tough. It won't be just a walk in the park. You'll be going up against the law itself. You do realize that, right?
I do. However, someone must.
Yep. Uncle Ray believes in you, too. The law evolves and grows, just like all of us do. I'm sure you can pull it off. After all, you're Gregory's son. Your old man would never give up no matter what. His eyes always saw only what lay straight ahead. Miles, when you chose to live as a prosecutor, your eyes looked just like your father's. It looks like you've grown up a bit. I really wish your old man could see you now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shields.
So then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, allow me to formally return this to you. Please do. I, Justin Courtney, as a member of the PIC, do hereby return to Miles Edgeworth the rights and privileges of a prosecutor in the name of the Goddess of Law.
Prosecutor's badge, proof of my profession. However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. And there it is! There's the final celebration music! We did it! Every single loose end on this entire game, we tied it all together! And with that, Prosecutor Edgeworth is revived! That's great, sir!
So then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, it's time for Uncle Ray to make his exit. I have to report to your old man all about the traitor in the Edgeworth family.
Thank you for everything, truly.
The next time we meet just might be in the courtroom. I hope you'll be ready. Uncle Ray might not look it, but he's an ace attorney after all.
I'll look forward to seeing the attorney my father trained in action.
Take care.
So long, partner.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, welcome back.
Judge Courtney, I must give my thanks to you as well.
To me?
You sought to fix the corruption within the PIC from the inside. That must truly have been a lonely battle.
No, it was not. For I was never alone. Because the Goddess of Law is always by your side, right?
You made me realize that one could fight in such a way. The prosecutor's office. No, the entire legal world is caught up in this contradiction. If that cannot be set right, there is a truth that will never see the light of day. It was only through your help that I was able to find this new path. One that fights against the contradictions in the law.
I too find that promising as one in the service of the Goddess of Law. You shall certainly succeed in helping the law grow.
Let us meet again in the courtroom.
Yes. I must apologize for my shameful acts during the trial 2 days ago. Next time, I shall fulfill my duties as a judge perfectly.
Your Honor, I do not intend to speak regarding your ideas.
Prosecutor Edgeworth?
However, the greatest judge I know is one overflowing with humanity. Even during a trial, that judge experiences happiness, anger, sadness, and joy. Happiness and joy? Okay. But nevertheless, always hands down the correct verdict in the end. He said happiness and joy, so they were two separate things.
It's difficult to say, but sometimes I feel that perfection is not always correct.
So, a judge too has the right to behave in such a manner? Thank you very much. Prosecutor Edgeworth, when I pursued and fought against Blaze the Best, the goddess of law was not the only one by my side. Ah, it's John! When I have this cutout with me, I feel a strange sense of courage well up from within. No matter how painful things became, no matter how strong the foe, when I remember that I am not alone, I am able to keep moving forward. Wrongs must be put right, for John's sake as well.
John, too, lost his father in a past crime.
That is more important to me than even the words of the goddess of law. Haha, though I'm sure the goddess would be angered by those words.
Heh, your bond with your son is the secret to your strength, I imagine.
I don't have to be perfect. I just want to grow little by little. Both as a judge and as a mother. That is how I feel.
It seems there is much each of us has yet to learn.
Agreed. We are still but children before the world. Let us grow in our own respective paths until we meet again. I shall look forward to that reunion. May the blessings of the goddess of law be upon you as you follow your new path.
See you around, Courtney.
Though I once lost my position as a prosecutor, I have now reclaimed it.
Oh, this music. So that I may tread a new path as a prosecutor, I shall surely reach the truth waiting at the end of this path. No matter how difficult the path may be, if any seek to stop me on my path, they shall receive no mercy. No matter who they may be, I will shout just one word. Objection! Is that it? Is that the end of the game? Holy shit! This game deserves a standing ovation. No words could possibly express that absolutely phenomenal thing that I just experienced. I am so sorry I waited this long to play this game. Like, I can't even express. That game was absolutely phenomenal. I don't even know where to begin. Everything about it. So we'll start gameplay. Logic chess. What a great addition. You have no evidence to work with. It's just a pure battle of wits. You use logic to draw out information. It's purely based around just tripping the witness up on their own words with no additional evidence. And like, that was actually really challenging trying to form a strategy and think logically within the time limit. Because when you're cross-examining someone, there's no time limit. You have all the time in the world. But not in logic chess you didn't. Oh my god. And then of course the story, like, so the biggest criticism of the first game I had is that Edgeworth didn't really have any character work done. Like, obviously he has his own character arc in the main trilogy, and that's phenomenal as well. But I would have assumed that for his own game, he would have had something, like some kind of development, because it's his own, you know, spin-off standalone game. But he didn't. But now, in this game, even though I've already played the last season, I know that he, like I said, I knew the whole time he was gonna end up being the chief prosecutor. But even knowing that, to see him go through this development in this game was fantastic, and that's exactly what it should have been in the first game. And the other characters, new characters, Courtney was a remarkably intelligent and respectable opponent. Like, initially, she seemed a little bit heartless, but I still, like, she wasn't super nice to us when we first met her, but I still respected the hell out of her as an opponent. She was whip smart, and she was awesome to face off against. And then, of course, by the end of it, we finally got to learn more about a story with her and her son, or her adopted son, John. That was just heartwarming beyond belief. And then, of course, we have Sebastian, who was an annoying little shit. And let's be pretty clear. Even though we learn more about his backstory at the end, that doesn't excuse how he acted in the first three cases that we were with him, which are cases 2 through 4. Like, it doesn't excuse his behavior. He was still a little shit in those cases, and there's no getting around that. But it does make you feel bad for him. Like, it makes you feel really bad getting to see him finally stand on his own, and like, seeing him stand up in court to help bring down Blaze the Best was so so freaking satisfying. Like, after all this time of him just being completely incompetent, we finally, through the most therapeutic logic chess session ever, we finally helped him find the courage to bring down Blaze the Best, and oh my god, that was just the beginning of the goddamn case. Like, oh, and of course, the elephant in the room is the overarching story of this entire game, because Trials and Tribulations was a masterful story of, like, because it tied together every loose end throughout the entire trilogy, from the first Turnabout all the way to the end of the bridge to the Turnabout, and everybody's individual character arcs. Phoenix, Maya, Edgeworth, Francisca, Gumshoe, everybody had their characters come to a satisfying conclusion after 3 games. Then you had Dual Destinies, which, story-wise, kind of lacking in the Phantom department. But character-wise, it wove together Phoenix's storyline, Athena's storyline, and Apollo's, all their character development. They were all woven together in a genius way. And in Spirit of Justice, like, there was little breadcrumbs of backstory and world building in cases 1 and 3. There wasn't a whole lot in 2 or 4, though. So it was really cases 1, 3, and 5, and it really didn't start picking up the pace until case 5. But this was a whole other level of genius. Like, everything throughout the entire game. Who was Shelly the Killer? Why do we care about him? What's going on with Zhang Fei and the President? What's the backstory of the Assassin Dojin? Why does Lang even exist in this game at all? What's the backstory of Roland? Why does she care about finding the henchman? Who's Simon Keys? Why does he matter? Who's Gustavia's son? Who's the kid in the museum? Who masterminded the letters? What was the deal with the floating man in the moon? What was the purpose for having the auction in the first place? And it all came together. Like, the thing is, what impresses me the most is that anybody, like, if I took this game and gave it to some random guy down the street and said, hey, play this game, and they'd be like, okay, and then they just picked any of the cases at random, they'd be able to enjoy it, because each case works brilliantly as a standalone mystery, with its own self-contained characters, its own self-contained story, but they all left little breadcrumbs that you didn't think twice about, that all came together. Once you, like, individually, they worked well, and they meant nothing, but when you connect all the pieces together, and you have that final case, and it all came together into one genius mastermind of a mystery. So, now we have the other elephant in the room, which is, where do these cases rank in my list of Ace Attorney cases? Because over the summer, I made a video where I ranked every single Ace Attorney case that I had played. I got a lot of questions and a lot of requests to see if I'm going to update the video, and I'm telling you now, I'm not going to re-record that entire video just to add 5 new cases. That's a ridiculous concept. I'm not doing that. But what I will do is right now, I will put up on screen this is the tier list that I had before over the summer. So I'm just gonna very quickly. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time in each case because I just played through them all. I'm gonna just very quickly show you where I would rank them all. So, Turnabout Target perfectly set the tone for this game. It reintroduced the characters well. It was a brilliant introduction of logic chess, really tight pacing all throughout, and it was a mystery that was simple enough to help you ease into the game, but still the most complex opener yet. That perfectly set this game on target to be amazing. So I would put it in the top end of the great tier. In Prison Turnabout was a really creative place for a mystery with a lot of epic twists, awesome cameos, and really well thought out mechanics and systems in place to allow for a super clever mystery to solve. Also, we finally got to meet Ally the Alligator, and it felt a little bit drawn out in some sections pacing-wise, which is why it's below Turnabout Target, but that's the case's only flaw, and to knock it down any further than this for minor pacing issues would be akin to this case being imprisoned. Then we have the Inherited Turnabout, and let's be clear, playing as Gregory Edgeworth in his last case against Von Karma was awesome, and automatically launches it up to the outstanding tier. Except, it had a strong start and a strong conclusion with really clever deductions and engaging characters. However, that middle section was really rough in terms of pacing. It dragged it, then, like, the pacing was so slow and unnecessarily drawn out in the middle that it knocks it down a full tier. But other than the pacing problems, this case was the one. This was one case that Gregory would be proud that we inherited. So then of course we have the Forgotten Turnabout, which, such heartwarming development between Edgeworth and Kay, one of the most impactful moments in the entire series, with Edgeworth giving up his badge, Emma Skye and Lala Hart, they made their appearances, and they added a lot to the chemistry of the main cast. Sebastian began his work to redemption with character development. Courtney revealed her true motives. There was clever logic deductions as always. This case is on par with a Magical Turnabout in terms of, like, best non-finale cases, and this Turnabout won't ever be forgotten in my book. And finally, we have the Grand Turnabout, the ultimate culmination of everything, tying together all the mysteries, bringing together all the character arcs to a close, raising the stakes through the roof, offering a challenging final mystery to solve, and bringing the story to a remarkably satisfying conclusion. I never thought I'd see the day, but you know what? This tops Bridge to the Turnabout. Like, I still enjoy Bridge to the Turnabout more, but objectively speaking, this case takes the cake. The emotional, because this case had the emotional satisfaction in bringing a mystery from long ago to a close. From Turnabout Goodbyes. Also, Emma Skye, she wants to become a forensic scientist. You're gonna have to wait a little bit longer than you want to. Thanks, Apollo Justice. Anyway, it had that satisfaction of like bringing a case from years ago to a close from Turnabout Goodbyes. It had the through the roof stakes of Frill, my turnabout with the kidnapping John and kidnapping Sebastian, and then it had the character arc conclusions from Bridge to the Turnabout. It had it all, and it was the most grand conclusion to this game I could have possibly asked for. Absolutely freaking phenomenal. I only have 2 criticisms of this game. Number 1 is that the episodes were a little longer than they needed to be. Like, they could have probably trimmed it down a little bit in some instances. But, you know, that's minor in comparison to the other thing I have to say, which is, I wish that Gumshoe, Francisca, and Kay had, I mean, not Kay, because Kay was there the whole time, but I wish Gumshoe and Francisca had bigger parts to play in this game, because, like, that was one of the things that I loved about the first investigation game, is that it was just a fun adventure with the core group of the Adventure of Francisca and Gumshoe, and, like, that core team of, because, you know, Edgeworth and Francisca working together as a brother and sister team. That's my favorite moment of the entire game, the entire first game, was when he and Francisca worked together as a brother-sister team in Turnabout Reminiscence. And then obviously whenever we were together with Gumshoe was great. But a lot of the time in this game, Gumshoe was just kind of off doing his own thing. Same with Francisca. I mean, Francisca was there some of the time, but she and Gumshoe were not as prevalent in this game as they were in the first game, which was kind of disappointing. I was really hoping that we were going to get to see more of them, which, I mean, I know why, because all the focus was on the new characters, you know, Sebastian, Courtney, and Ray. So I understand that, but I still, like, even with that in mind, and to be clear, their story work was done tremendously. I still wish that they could have, that they could have had more screen time for the original characters from you know, Gumshoe and Francisca. But other than that, absolutely phenomenal game. I don't have any other criticisms of this. This game was, like, I'm not kidding. I wanted to give a standing ovation to this game when the credits started rolling. This was something else. Like, there's no words. There aren't enough words in the English language for me to explain how phenomenal this was. And of course, big thank you to the team who translated this game to English so that we could play this game. Like, huge, gargantuan thanks to the dedicated team of fans that worked to translate this game to English. Like, we are eternally grateful for you having done this. This was fantastic. Like, there's nothing else I can say. Anything else I would say would just be a repeat of. This game is a standing ovation. It was through the roof. It was absolutely phenomenal. And like I said, all the character cameos, like, you know, like I said, like what you saw there, Penny, Will Powers, Lotta Hart, Frank Sawit of all people, just so many cameos throughout the entire series up until this point, and they were all so good. And of course, Emma Skye. That was another thing that I forgot to mention. Emma Skye actually had a role in this game. Like, we got to use her scientific investigation technique, which, by the way, having to blow into the microphone to actually blow the dust away, it may not have worked all that well. I had to do it a couple more times than I probably should have had to, but it was still a really cool mechanic because of the DS functionality. And just being able to use her scientific investigation things like luminal testicle instead of her just showing up being like, hey, I'm Emma Skye, okay, bye, see you later, like she did in the first game. It's like, really? It couldn't have had her be here for any longer than that. But, you know, I mean, I'm happy that she got her time to shine in this game. I'm happy that, I'm just happy right now. Like, that was, thank you for all of our supporters and Capcom for making this game. No, thank you for translating this beautiful game to English so that we could play it. April, and here's the epilogue. April 8th, 4:17 p.m. High Prosecutor's Office. Back where we belong. Wow, we were really busy with all those cases, weren't we, sir? Indeed, we were. Why did all these incidents happen in such quick succession?
I feel like things are always so busy when...
But here's a question. Why are some of the text boxes am I allowed to skip, like, to show the full text and some I'm not? I don't know.
I feel like things are always busy whenever I'm around.
Wait, Kay, wouldn't that mean you're a magnet for crimes?
Hey, Gummy, that was rude.
I do get the impression that he's not entirely wrong. So then, Kay, do you intend to resume your training to become a great thief?
I don't know.
Huh? Something on your mind, pal?
How should I put it? Until now, I've always been chasing after my father, so that I could become a great thief just like him.
Like the previous Dr. Cross, I suppose.
But watching you, Mr. Edgeworth, made me think. Maybe instead of chasing after my father, I should find my own path. I mean, you didn't become a defense attorney either.
Chasing after a parent's shadow isn't the only path in life for a child, after all. Yeah, that's a lesson for all of you. If your parents tell you, hey, you know what, you're gonna be this thing, and you are within your, like, you are fully allowed to say, no, I want to do this. Like, I know I've had friends that their parents said, hey, you're gonna be this in life. You're gonna follow in footsteps, and they're like, but I don't want to do that. And you're like, too bad. Like, you can do what you want with your life. That's the moral. That's the moral of the story here.
I'm gonna aim a hero in my own way.
That sounds good.
But of course, that doesn't mean I'm gonna throw away the name of the great thief Yatagarasu.
No matter what sort of hero you become, Kay will always still be Kay.
Thanks, Gummy, and Gummy will always be Gummy.
Of course, pal. I'm going to keep pushing forward on my path to elder detective, after all. Mr. Edgeworth, I look forward to continue working with you, sir. That's funny, because he doesn't show up in any game after this. Yes, I'll be counting on you, Detective Gumshoe. Detective, you saved me many times during these past cases, and you have my gratitude. I suggest you look forward to your next salary assessment. Aww. Huh?
What?
Does that mean what I think it means? What's wrong? I'm saying that your salary ought to be raised.
Aww. That is... Wow. Isn't that great, Gummy?
It's like a dream come true. I can finally say goodbye to my instant noodle lifestyle. However, that doesn't mean you can start slacking off. The real work begins from here on out. You should prepare yourself. Yes, sir. Roger that. I'll devote my body and soul to following after you, Mr. Edgeworth. The path Mr. Shields and Judge Courtney taught me is to take a stand against the contradictions in the law, and to reach the truth at the end of that road. What am I able to do? That is a question I must continue to dwell upon. Certainly, this path will not be easy. However...
Prosecutor Edgeworth, when I pursued and fought against Blaze the Best, the goddess of law was not the only one by my side. Ah, it's John! When I have this cut out with me, I feel a strange sense of courage well up from within. When I remember that, I am not alone, I'm able to keep moving forward.
Heh, your bond with your son is the secret to your strength, I imagine. Bonds, huh?
Ah, I completely forgot!
That was sudden. What's wrong?
I was searching for members for the new Yatagarasu team.
Now that you mention it, I do remember you saying something to that effect.
But in the end, I wasn't even able to find a single person. Can you imagine it? A team combining their powers in order to steal the truth. I wanted to create an invincible team like that, but...
What are you saying, pal? Don't you already have a team? Together, the three of us can solve any case that comes our way.
Yeah, you're right.
A prosecutor, a detective, and a great thief.
We're the invincible trio of heroes that steals, captures, and pursues the truth.
Hearing all that kind of makes me feel sorry for the truth. As long as the three of us are together, there's nothing to fear. So just as long as we're together, we can stand and face whatever kind of trouble this world tries to put us in. And if you're gonna try to knock us down, then I think you'd best beware. Points to anyone who gets that reference. Yes, you are correct. Even until his last moments, my father ran along his own path. I too shall advance along mine. Accompanied by my somewhat boisterous comrades. As long as they are by my side, I can walk forward without hesitation. On this new path as a prosecutor, prosecutors and attorneys, the path I walk is not my father's. However, I am certain that the two paths are not separate. Though we may walk in opposite directions, our destination is the same. Why, you may ask? Because both paths lead to the one and only truth. That shot is... Wow! Wow! What a way to end this game. This game. Wow. So the other thing that I need to do is I need to rank where this game is in comparison to the other ones, and look, is this game better than Trials and Tribulations? I never thought I'd say it, but yes, absolutely. And the thing is, so on a purely personal level, Trials and Tribulations still means a lot more to me, because just there's a lot of different factors at play. Like there's a satisfaction seeing everyone's character arcs and overarching plot that's come to a conclusion, because that trilogy was the first time in a long time when I really got invested in the characters in a video game story. Like, I think the last game that made me feel as invested as I was Undertale, that I played years, I think it was a year before that I played that game. So I was really, really invested in everyone's stories, and seeing them all come to such a satisfying close was just, like, the best feeling in the world. On a very, very selfish level, my LP of Trials and Tribulations was one of the most well-received LPs I've ever made, so that's obviously nice to see. Then there's also the time in which I played it, because my Let's Play of Trials and Tribulations took up all of December last year, and it went all the way to New Year's Eve, and that was the most wonderful holiday season I think I've ever had. I think I bought some of the best presents I've ever got for my family and friends, and I just... They had the biggest smiles on their faces when they opened them up, so I associate that with playing this game. I made wonderful memories with Forget 45 and my friends and family throughout all of holiday season last year. It was my last big LP before 2020, and as we all know, the world has kind of been in a disastrous state this year, so, you know, it's just kind of the last big LP before 2020 happened. It's just a lot of personal elements that work together to make Trials and Tribulations mean as much to me as it does. And to be clear, Trials and Tribulations is still a phenomenal game. Like, it's a perfect conclusion to the original trilogy, irrespective of my personal reasons for loving it and my, like, nostalgia and the factors in real life that help me, that make that game mean as much to me as it does. Irrespective of all that, it is still the perfect conclusion to the original trilogy. It just means that, like, those personal reasons are the reason why I love that game more than Investigations 2. But if I remove those elements, like, objectively speaking, this is absolutely the best game in the series. It blew my expectations completely out of the water, and I am so happy I finally played this. And that's it. That's the end of the game and the end of the LP. I've gotten more requests for this game than anything else ever in my almost 7 years of making YouTube videos, so there was a lot of pressure for this. Like, there was a lot of pressure to make this Let's Play as good as it possibly could have been, so I hope it was everything you hoped it would be. I hope this wasn't a disappointment, because I know how much it sucks to be really excited about something and then be massively disappointed by it. So I hope that this was everything you wanted it to be. I did my best to make a really good LP for you all. I did my best, and because, you know, I wanted to provide the most entertaining thing I possibly could for what is the most anticipated game I've ever covered. And on my end of things, this game could not have lived up to the hype any more than it did. And the thing is, like, I decided in September that I kind of wanted to play through this game, because it's like, you know, people are never going to stop asking me to play this. Let's just do it. Let's give it a shot and see how this game is. But I knew I couldn't just drop it out of the blue, because, like, I didn't want it to just be like, oh, another Let's Play, cool. But I also wanted it to be, like, to not be that big of a deal. Like, I didn't want to make it this big gargantuan thing that I was building up hype to. So I wanted to, that's why I did the October update. So what I did with that was I wanted to make it such that, like, I teased that there was going to be something revealed there, so that people kind of had an impression that I might be revealing that this game was going to be the next LP. Because I was very secretive about it. I even, the playlist on my channel was just question mark for what the next LP was going to be. So there was that, and then it just, so the October dude was just like, oh, let's celebrate, let's talk about what the new updates for the channel are going to be, to, you know, kind of put everyone in a good mood. Then I revealed the LP, and immediately released episode 1. Like, just being in the live chat of that October update was amazing, because I got to interact with people in real time, and I timed that with the release, because I found out what the time, because when you premiere a YouTube video, there's a time like there's like 2 minutes and 15 seconds or whatever that it takes for the video to actually start because YouTube's countdown thing. So I added that time to the time of the actual video to make it such that it would you as the viewer watching the video would get if you have notifications turned on, you would get a notification for episode 1 of Ace Attorney Investigations 2 releasing the second that I in the October update said, if you check my YouTube channel right now, and then the notification will pop up. So I really wanted to time that well to make sure it worked. And just getting to see people's reactions in chat to the big reveal brought the biggest, dumbest smile on my face. I was really happy that went well. This game was phenomenal. And the thing is, like, I know this game takes place between Investigations 1 and Apollo Justice, and there's a part of me that's like, I probably should have played this between them. But there's another part of me that's like, I'm glad I waited to play this, because I saved the best game for last. This was worth the wait. Alright, well, next up, we got 3 new LPs coming to the channel. So the first one, I'm going back to Zero Escape. I said I'd play through the rest of the trilogy, I just needed some time, and that was, my reason for saying that was twofold. Number one, I did genuinely need a break after that ending, because that ending just, oh my god, I needed some time to distance myself from that before I jumped into the sequel. The other reason is because I wanted to play Investigations 2 for the anniversary. So for the 1 year anniversary of my Phoenix Wright LP. So I timed it such that the 999 would end right in time for the October 1st for the new series to start. So there was that. But now Investigations 2 is done, I'm ready to jump back into Zero Escape and hope that the sequel improves on the things that the first game didn't do so well, and hope it's good. Now, for the other 2, I know they're going to be released tomorrow, but I still want to keep them a secret for now. Not because they're going to be any big surprises, just, kind of I'm going to play a little game. So, I have some hints for what the next 2 LPs are going to be. And I want to see if you guys can guess them. They're pretty obvious hints, so I'm not going to, they're not like super clever, ingenious hints or anything. I just want to see how this goes. So, the first hint is that, I'm a little late on getting to this franchise, but I'm finally doing it. So, I'm finally going to play a game from a certain franchise that I was a little late on getting to. So, and then the other hint is for a game franchise that was referenced in this game. In Investigations 2, one of the characters referenced the game franchise that I'm going to be making an LP for. And specifically, as for which game I'm going to be making an LP for within this franchise, the only hint I have to give you there is the contradiction that Edgeworth tells Phoenix about in Rise from the Ashes. So those are your hints. The contradiction that Edgeworth tells Phoenix about in Rise from the Ashes, and the fact that I was a little late on getting to this franchise, but I'm finally getting around to playing it. Other than that, that is Investigations 2, finally finished on the channel. I hope it was everything you wanted it to be. I had a blast playing it, and I hope you all had a blast watching it. That'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time. I hope to catch you all tomorrow for the start of 3 brand new LPs. Goodbye.